order, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Eister. Savage. Here. Procius.
Here.
Ramos. Here. Troop. Here.
I have two additions to the agenda for tonight. One is a shade tree grant, and the other is a hard member of Lori Johnson joining. Do I have a second to add?
Second. Eister. Savage. Yes. Procius.
Here. Yes.
Ramos. Yes. Troop. Yes.
At this time, is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Any public comment on agenda items at this time? Please state your name.
Victoria Rosencrantz. When you get to the POS system, if you could expand on that, what company, what's the cost, how many departments are using that, monthly subscription, monthly maintenance fees, is there a cloud system, and how many terminals? If you could expand a little more on just the POS system, please, that'd be great.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? All right, moving on. Make the motion for the approval and minutes and reports. Minutes from the December and January 12th meeting and 29th meetings. Reports from the Fire Department, Police Department, Treasurer, Controller, Code Office, Health Department, Parks and Rec, and Planning Commission. Do I have a second?
Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop. Yes. Eister.
Moving on, sadly for the last time, police update, Chief Remington.
Okay, since we weren't able to do this for the last couple of weeks, but now we're able to do it, basically, we're going to go over the yearly tallies for this past year. We have everything basically in. For everything for the year of 2025, there was 5,152 incidents. Basically, within that, we had 218 field contacts. What field contacts are is, field contacts are if we were in the field and basically we drive up on somebody, we do a pedestrian stop, something like that. There was 218 of those. Traffic stops for the year, we had 1,847 traffic stops the officers conducted. With that, there was 468 warnings that were issued. 305 traffic citations issued throughout that. Parking citations issued were in the number of 1,987 through our parking. Todd Harvey, awesome job he did there with that. For phone calls that were received on station and handled either between the officers or the administrative secretary and Todd, was over 9,279 phone calls that came into the police department. So, needless to say, we were very, very busy last year. The officers did a fantastic job keeping up with the work and everything that came along with that. I know a lot of people, we get slammed a lot in the papers and things like that on your social media, and we call them keyboard warriors. Basically, when they say that we're not doing anything, the numbers prove basically what our officers are doing. So, with that being said, you know, I'm sure the keyboard warriors will be electing to have something to say on this. So, other than that, you guys did a fantastic job. Most of the department is into the back of the back of the room right now. Guys, for 2025, I just want to give you guys a round of applause. So with that being said, we'll do the monthly, we'll be with the new Chief Slack when he's appointed. We'll do the monthly with him. That would be next meeting. There are two outstanding investigations, mayor and council, that basically are out there that was requested by the mayor and by council. One, I believe, will be heading to the Attorney General's office, and then one basically we don't have the complete, all the answers back on. The other thing is, I just made a decision, I'm not going for it. No, I am, but I just basically want to say to the council, and I'll have my moment to speak when we do the presentation and stuff like that. But thank you all, council, for everything that you guys do, and thank you, Mayor, for always having my back.
Welcome, Chief. Thank you. Moving on to old business, the rate notification system. So basically, our yearly subscription is up here. We need to decide if we want to keep that as a council or not. So basically, that was the text, phone call, email notification that we got back in 2025. So it's up to us if we want to continue that subscription. It's a great idea. We didn't use it a lot in 2025 because we didn't have to, which is a good thing. So it's up to council if we want to renew that subscription. It's about $3,500 a year. So, like I said, it's up to council. Like I said, last year we maybe used it 3 or 4 times. So, like I said, me personally, the controller thinks that it's a great idea. So it's up to council if we want to continue to have it. It's one of those things, it's great when it's there when you need it, but it's pros and cons is the benefit of it. So that's up to council as a decision what we want to do with it.
How well did it work if we didn't? Did you get any feedback on that?
It was like good that they knew it was going on, but it wasn't like, for example, it wasn't like, hey, stay out of this neck of the woods because there's a fire. It was like one of those emergencies, like, I forget what the one was. It's like, hey, this is what's going on to make everybody aware. The police are handling the situation type of thing. So it was like those types of things. It could be, yes. It's just a matter of what are we, like, are we really going to use it for emergencies, or are we going to use it more of, hey, for example, I'm making this up here, February, or we'll say March, our council meetings are on these days. It all depends how we want to use it. So it's up to, yeah. Yeah. So like that, it's up to council. What we want to do is want to bring it to everyone's attention how we want to proceed. It was now, basically.
The authority has it, right? The meeting Tuesday night, just asking if we can part of their schedule cost.
So basically, table it. All right.
Just to remind me.
All right. So at this time, okay. With that being said, I make the motion to table the rave notification system to a later date. Do I have a second?
Savage. Yeah. Procius.
Yes.
Ister. Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, Councilman Ramos.
So, Joe Bartello would like to remain serving on the Sunbury Planning Commission, and the commission is, basically, he does a plan for the development of the city of Sunbury. I would like to vote to have him continue to reappoint him on the Sunbury Planning Commission.
Second.
True. Yes. Ramos.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Savage. Yes. Ister.
Keep going, Councilman Ramos.
So the adaptive reuse order too, Zach, you want to speak about that?
Yeah, so we did present this at the public hearing, we had a first reading, just a short synopsis, basically. It's to allow, all of the uses within the city, with the exception of highway, commercial, and industrial, to be permitted by special exception in the R1 district. The qualifications would be a commercial building, whether it's conforming or non-conforming, and must be vacant for at least 1 year. And again, special exceptions, so the hearings in but for sections.
So I would like to make the motion to adopt the adaptive reuse ordinance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ister. Yes. Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
True. Yes. Ramos.
Yes.
Keep going, Councilman Ramos.
The next is the iWork service agreement. So the city of Sunbury uses an iWork software system that we correspond with when we receive complaints with. We also document any citations, fines, we take it for landlords or residential tenant apartments. And what this addition is 3 additional letters to utilize within the iWork system. So it allows our code officers and Jackie to basically issue permits, and citations on the spot, but it's letters through the software, and it's a copyright document that we have to, get the permission to utilize it. But it's all electronic within the iWork system. Is that, would you like to speak any more on that, or is that?
Sure. So this letter would allow us to do our inspections, put that report immediately into the program, and give us the opportunity to email that to the landowners and have your records kept. So there would be then 2 additional letters for anyone else who wishes to use it.
So I make the motion to adopt the contract with iWork for these 3 additional letters.
Second. True?
Yes. Ramos.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. Moving on, POS system, Councilman Savage and Ister.
Okay, Mr. Alex, since he's with the Yes, sir. So we're ready to move on this. The company is Game Factory USA out of Milton. We're changing the bid for the quotable bid. We're eliminating the code on this because what we found out is that our current tariffs software system that we're using will be able to do it for past POS fees. So at this point, what we're going to do is the ring pull, so that will shave off $8,533.78 off the book. We're about 4 to 8 weeks to get everything put in, which is okay because the race rate season is now over and we'll be moving into the swimming season. So, the nice part is this is going to resolve our audit issue we had in our audit complaint, making sure that all the information is met.
Are you guys going with 2 terminals or 3 terminals?
We're going to be going with 2 terminals, and 1 terminal will have an extra cash flow, which will be used for cash. Right now, it's going to stand at,
11,217.
I get a cheaper bid, it goes for 11,000.
$14,217.
So you're saying you're gonna have 3 terminals, you said?
2 terminals. 2 terminals with 1 extra cash flow.
Okay.
So the 1 extra cash flow will be which will be used
Yeah.
for what they do, rentals, stuff like that. Whoever is the manager on duty at that night, or, for like the hockey clubs, they come in and pay a large check. They will be the ones who pick it up and the information, and that will go into a separate cash flow.
Any other questions on the POS
I
system?
just want to make sure everybody understands this, the audit finding that's in the audit, that's been referred for years. This is going to help resolve, build better dollars.
I think this also gives us backup to data, right? Like just raw data. So like if we need to pull things for an audit, if we need to pull things for another SOP, then we can send our operating procedures for the office, then we can pull those and we can work with the company to go in, pull our data remotely, and then we can just have access to what was input, output, and then all of the reports are available.
Yeah, there's going to be more standard procedures put in place between the inside and the everything's covered under the first year, warranty on the hardware, that's something started for another year. But what I'm saying up there, leaving these out is because they are also doing a lot of work, it's sort of like patent season for them. So the good news is it'll be used for this one season.
And just one-time fee, once we pay this, then we're not like, is there a yearly subscription or anything like that?
Starting next year.
And what does that yearly subscription cost?
Yeah, it could change between now and then.
Whatever, just an idea.
Yeah, it's like $1,195, but that's not different, it's only one site, so it's $995. And terminal would be about $400.
So 900 and the 400, so about 1,300, is that a year?
Yeah.
Councilman Nice, you can have it in your budget.
The other thing is the reason why I have the extra boxes, so that the management and this is box. This is cloud-based,
saying, if there was, what do you do about that investigation? Do you still push forward with that investigation, or what are you saying, let?
People are still talking about that.
Well, I
I think that's a separate issue. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
separate issue.
I heard in the past, like $50 was missing, and $50, well, it's just $50. But $50 is still taxpayers' money. So,
Who investigated it?
what's that?
Who investigated it?
It's being investigated now.
Well, then I think we make a pending investigation and we move forward with the POS system so it doesn't happen again.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I mean,
Well,
I'm just saying, what happens though from the years past? Like, we're still moving forward with anything like that.
Well, yeah, we're gonna hold people accountable.
well, I think if there's anything that's found or if there's anything that is criminal, I believe that goes with it. It's going to please the prosecuting or solicitors to figure out what they're doing.
And that's great transparency, I love it.
So it's great.
Well, put it this way, it goes to the police department. I'll tell them whatever they wanna do is what they do. It doesn't really have anything to do with me.
So,
But
I'm
I'd be in
someone's
favor of
stealing
whatever they're gonna do.
something. I mean, that's a pretty easy kid to figure out, if somebody's stealing something. They get consequences.
For sure.
Yeah, also to be clear, they're separate issues. So if there's pending investigations, nobody's impeding those, or you're just moving forward so that we have these backup reports about investigations, et cetera. So
I'm just asking, like, for the older stuff, like, are we just, this is great that this is being put in place, because this was a big issue. I know that has been a big issue for some time, and I think Spank, I think that's a great thing for you guys to actually move forward on.
So I think if there is an investigation going on, or if there was an investigation going on, that was something we should, if it happened last year,
The investigation's been ongoing, that's, since the council afterwards.
that's something we'll have to let our auditors know for the next year, or for this year, for last year's audit,
I absolutely let them know that.
just so they're aware.
If there was, I mean, not saying that there's anything wrong, I'm just saying, like.
If there is wrongdoing.
If there's wrongdoing,
We'll take a look at that.
to be held
So
accountable.
I think as Nate said, it's two different situations, it's two different pieces of law. You're talking about a police investigation, we're talking about correcting and modifying it, and also just making it more secure up there, make sure that we have the money collected.
Yes, I'm great, it's great to see that happen.
at the recommendation of the entirety, all five of the people of this board and the past boards, just to be clear.
Okay.
Just wanna lay that out.
Yeah, you guys have been great with this.
Thanks. You too.
Councilman Ister, make the motion for the POS, if you shall wish
Is there
to.
three quotes?
No, it's not the quotes,
Why not?
because we don't need the quotes.
The threshold is 23.5 now, so it's under the threshold of bidding requirements.
Well, it's still unfortunate that I had to get three quotes for a handicap ramp, but we don't have to get three quotes for a POS system. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Councilman Ister,
I'm
whenever
sure
you're
it'll take that into consideration. I know,
second.
because it's your dollars for the.
True?
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ister.
All right, moving on to the new business. There were two additions. They're going in the beginning right here. The one is to add Lori Johnson to the hard board. She did submit a letter of interest. It is in our packets, so I make the motion to add Lori Johnson to the hard board. Do I have a second?
Second.
True?
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
And then the other addition was for a shade tree grant that Shade Tree has brought to us earlier in the work session. That was also added to the agenda, so that way if there's an official vote and then having a designee work with them, which would be Steve Welker that happily volunteered to do this. So do I have a second for the Shade Tree grant and making Steve the designee?
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
True. Yes.
All right, moving on. Economic development. So last year at this time, I brought towards council to help support the police department and their community efforts with the community policing for the 4 different events that they do throughout the year: the all-inclusive Easter egg hunt, the Halloween parade, the National Night Out, Halloween Hall of Treats, and the Trunk or Treat, which is in there with the Halloween parade. So about designating some money from economic development to help support their community efforts and community policing and being out there with the community. So I'm coming before the council again, asking for the same amount of funds to be equally distributed towards their events. I didn't know if anybody had any questions regarding that. $3,000. Yeah, sorry about that. Any other questions or comments? All right, so I'll make the motion to take out of economic development $3,000 for the police department community sponsored events. Do I have a second?
Ramos.
Yes.
Savage. Yes. Ister. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Troop. Yes. Thank you.
All right, moving on, a parental leave policy has been in the works with council to create one here. We got one created. The solicitor did review it, found everything to be legally good to go there. So I make the motion to approve the new policy of parental leave. Do I have a second?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay. We were just talking about this because the 3 weeks, but in the police
We should-
contract, they get,
I'm sorry, Treasurer. We should see if there's a second name on the question.
okay, that's fine.
I'll make the motion. Do I have a second? Okay. No second. Motion does not carry for the parental leave policy for our city employees. All right, moving on to the next order of business, naming of the new chief of police. Sergeant Slack, would you please come up? That's all right, that's all right. No, we can vote on that afterwards because, yeah.
Don't worry about it, that's the personal part, we got it.
Wherever you want to stand. All right, Sergeant Slack, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth. I will enforce the laws of the Commonwealth and the ordinances and laws of the city of Sunbury. I will discharge the duties of my office as Sunbury Police Chief with fidelity. I do further swear that I will uphold, obey, and enforce all laws without consideration of a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, handicap, or disability. So help you God. Congratulations, Chief.
This is something we haven't done in over 20-some years. Actually having the outgoing chief be here, the incoming chief, so. Proud of you, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Here I have a little thing to say. My retirement was on February 5th, which we had a great time. The officers that seated in the back, everybody that basically was here. So I went out February 5th with 23 years of service. Here at Sunbury, we were able to retire at 20 years.
I begged him to stay longer.
He begged me to stay longer, but we just had time to go. So, knowing Brad, taking a little bit, going back to knowing Brad, Brad basically came on as an officer full-time 16 years ago. It was during a tragic event that we had with the police department that I actually was able to go out after the civil service tests were done and do the backgrounds for the next hires. Brad came across as one of the high guys with doing that. I really didn't know Brad back then. I knew working with him because he was here with the department part-time a little bit, but really didn't hang out with Brad much. But then over the last 16 years, we've just grown to be brothers. And when I say brothers, I mean it's more than just the brotherhood of the police, but even outside of work. Brad has basically been, brought up through his family with, his mom. I don't know where she is. Where she is, Donna. Basically, and Donna, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. I think so too.
His wife Tika got to know the kids. We kind of all meshed, all came together as basically as one big family. But when it came down to discipline, and I will say this, in the police department, there's a discipline and there's a standard that Brad and I had basically came upon when I had taken over as chief. Even before that, we had a standard with discipline. But this standard had to be set. He helped me basically get that standard with the officers that basically are in the back of the room. They met that standard, and we continue to drive forward with the standard that is expected of a police officer in the city of Sunbury, and being responsible with your taxpayers' money and being responsible as officers as well. So, more or less going on to say, this man right here is, you say there's a boss and there's a leader, okay? And I think everybody kind of knows this, we've seen this out there, but you have a boss that can boss you around, tell you what to do. The leader's the guy that's going to help you get past him, past the leader, okay? And that's basically something I did. And I'm not patting myself on the back or anything like that, but this man has far exceeded that. Here we go. His integrity, and that's huge in police work. I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Student council. Thank you.
All right, moving on, Councilman Knight. Oh, no, I lied, excuse me. The chief contract. So, make the motion to approve the chief contract for newly appointed Chief Bradley Saka. Do I have a second? Yes. Yes. All right, now moving on, Councilman Knight.
Oh, thank you.
Second.
This is our resident tree.
So I need you guys to once they involved in I would be interested to Oscar Toby blank, so I want to make sure I get the introduction because he wants to be Toby.
I was on Facebook. You read. It's just Sunbury.
Yeah, I can remember Facebook.
Why doesn't Sunbury change?
Okay.
Valid question. But I did second.
Who you guys looking at?
Yes. Yes. True. All right, moving on, Councilman Ramos.
I want to make a motion to approve the park plan for
Second. True.
Yes.
Yes.
Motions.
Yes.
Savage. Yes.
Keep going, Councilman Ramos. Joe. Is Jerry Mitchell here by chance? Is Jerry Mitchell here by chance?
No, he's not.
What happened?
I'll email you.
Second.
Ister. Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes. True.
Yes. Ramos.
Yes. Keep going, Councilman Ramos.
Previously, we had hired Kelly Roches to be part-time code enforcement officer. And a prospect for a full-time code clerk, but she has gracefully declined. And so now I'm going to make a motion to move Kelly Roches from a part-time code enforcement officer to full-time code clerk. Same rate, just with benefits.
So she's going from part-time clerk to full-time clerk.
Where she was going up and now it's my clerk that I had.
Okay.
Prospect, she.
Okay, so she's going to clerk. Okay.
Ister. Procius.
Yes. True.
Ramos.
Yes.
Savage. Yes.
Councilman True.
Yeah, basically, it's a TA set-aside grant. Did you get one?
Not yet.
7 years now, trying to get through some of the hurdles that PennDOT puts on us for that grant. We've been close, and requirements are, we have the guys' council for one desk.
Excuse me, can you close the door, please?
We can't.
Steve, I apologize, but we couldn't hear you back here at all.
Okay, so this is just a grant requirement that we present the plans to council, and if anybody has any questions on it, it's just a TA set-aside grant for a Market Street streetscape job from 10th to 11th Street, basically bringing that portion of Market Street up to the rest of Market Street. We'll have new rails, we'll have new sidewalks, we'll have the new lights going up through there, and we were hoping to take it further, but we ran into some difficulties down through there to expand the scope of the project a little bit, used up some of the money. We're also doing a little bit of work down there at Chestnut and 10th and trying to tighten that intersection up a little bit because it's such a big wandering intersection and some people get lost in it and some people don't know to go left or right. We're going to do some changes down there with that project as well. Plans are up here on the council table. If anybody has any questions, I'll be available during or after the council meeting.
Motion?
Make a motion to accept these plans.
Second.
Ister. Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Keep going, Councilman True.
Not extension, so Steve, do you have anything else you want to add to
Very
that?
much it.
Make a motion to give the extension.
Second. True.
Yes. Ramos.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Councilman Savage, vouchers and invoices.
I'll make a motion to approve the abstract vouchers for the general fund in the amount of $107,825.77 and payroll in the amount of $65.26.
Second.
Ister. Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Moving on, discussion items, Councilman Ramos.
So SRI for the downtown Bluebird Communities team, previously Derek Backer was the city representative. Since Derek Backer is going to the city, Joey Alford had asked him to be the city representative on that team. So I had accepted that position, and she's not here, otherwise I'd have her discuss more, but I
And then the shade tree brochure, you kind of spoke about that in the work session. I don't know if you just want to touch on it briefly. Maddie, do you want to talk about
Huh?
the brochure? Did you want to talk about the shade tree commission brochure? Again. Or do you just want us to give a brief in what you said?
Yeah, just really short, because, I mean, there's really not much to say.
All right, so previously in the work session, Madison came on behalf of the Shade Tree Commission, wanting the blessing of the city to ask for our blessing to approach citizens on putting shade trees throughout the city and also applying for grants. The city granted that with the vote previously, and the street that they're tackling right now will be Chestnut Street with the help of Steve Welker, who graciously volunteered. That's a long story short. All right, anything else, Andrew, you want to add? That's everything. All right, and then Councilman Savage, finish us off.
So I thought we should have an open discussion about the bills and reimbursements that were submitted for a retirement party. I personally did not know that there was going to be a retirement party for the chief of police. I don't know that any other elected representative on this board, whether they be a council person or a financial officer, was invited. But some reimbursements were submitted to the city, and first of all, whether we were invited or not is a moot issue. I don't think it's appropriate to be paying for parties for retired personnel. I think that there are plenty of us that would have donated to a party, whether we were invited or not, but also to celebrate our outgoing chief. But when we see things on social media and things, I think it's wildly inappropriate to use taxpayer dollars to celebrate retirements or other things that people are willing to donate for, especially people they work with for the better part of 20 years, or a few years, depending on how long we've been on the board. So I think that should be discussed in public, and I sent out my email that I was very open about, so I think we should open it for a discussion and either all give our opinions or hash it out.
All right, so I'll just give my opinion. The funds where the, we'll call it party came out of, were the exact same funds that paid for the Christmas party in 2024 that council attended and city workers attended, and there was no issue then. And going back to the party for the chief, I said he announced his retirement here end of December, and no one mentioned doing anything, getting him anything. There was no conversations. No one said even gave any hint to do anything, which is that's all right. And that's not a big deal. So myself, the police officers, came up with doing that. So, like I said, the funds that were used were the exact same funds that were used for 2024 Christmas party that, like I said, Nate, that you were at, and other elected officials were at, along with other city workers. And
well, the thing you mentioned was that all of city council was invited to the Christmas party, but we weren't invited. Not saying.
Well, like I said, nobody. Like I said, nobody.
However, it should be to say like, hey, do you want to go in on coming together with celebrating the sheet?
Well, I just said, like, nobody mentioned anything. Like, it was 2 months. Like, no one even gave a hint. Even say, hey, let's give them a thank you letter or anything. Like, no one said anything, which is completely fine. It's not an issue. So, like I said, I spoke with the officers. I spoke with Renee, and we said, hey, let's do something. And that's what we did. It's like,
so someone mentioned it enough to start to plan the party just within the locality of the department, but not say, hey, let me send an email to all the councils that you be part of as well, and the officer could call us and contribute to the party. It started somewhere, but it never spread around the entire whole council.
well, yeah, that's correct, because like I said, no one of council, no elected officials said anything, and it's like other people have retired. There have been other small get-togethers here at City Hall, and like I said, there weren't extended invites out to everyone. It's just like, hey, small little things amongst their own departments, which was completely fine. No one ever complained about it. No one ever said anything. It's just like, well, no, that's okay, Kevin, I didn't go on the record, but I'm saying the same thing, the same funds that paid for the 2024 Christmas party that people.
I think everybody would have done something like because no matter what. In the past, we always went and watched, had food, had cake, but everybody was invited.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the problem was, everybody was invited.
Well, I'm just saying that no one even mentioned it. Like, if people would have mentioned it, I understand, but there was 2 months. Who mentioned doing something? When? Oh,
Again, the planning happened, and then you have, everybody has our cell, we have our cell phone, and they have our emails, and say, hey, you guys need to go in on this, we would have allowed even say, hey, here's a card, or something.
But this is, Josh, what is entertaining, think about it?
I'm not entertaining, it's just a
Well, you're
fact.
smirking, and it's not entertaining, because
Well,
we are
but-
all elected at large citywide, and there was literally one member of this entire board, which is 15% of the elected officials, a minority of a minority of a minority of this body, including the financial officers, were invited to somebody that they've worked with since we've been literally 15. Kevin, Jim, am I wrong? Because Travis has been here that long, and if it's entertaining, I think we should discuss it. But the problem is, is that you're saying, oh yeah, guys, we had all these parties, we did this, but you know what? All the council members were here, the city officials were here. Well, guess what? We didn't have the entertainment or the opportunity to be at this one, because you didn't extend it to us, and you think it's funny, and you think it's smug to sit there and laugh.
No,
That's the problem.
Nate, what I find very interesting is, I don't understand if you're upset about the funds, not getting invited, but the part I'm having, okay, so both, okay. So the funds part, you're worried about that, but the same funds were used, okay, for the entire city. But we're not worried about how other funds were spent. We're not worried how we didn't get $12,000 for the police department that was lost. That's okay. We move on, we learn from our mistakes. That is fine. Like I said, there are other police-sponsored events that everyone is aware of. Nobody showed up to them, which is fine. I didn't say whatever. But those are. But now, like you weren't invited to the party. Is that what you're upset about? Like what I said, we have a guy who's been here for 23 years. No one mentioned to do anything. Jim said you did. I wasn't aware of that. That's my.
You didn't ask. You didn't ask.
Oh, okay, so I gotta hold your hand to do everything. Do I need to ask, hey?
No, I should hold yours and say, hey, you know what, Josh, we really thought we would celebrate the chief who's been here for 20+ years as an officer of this city. We thought that two guys that have been here for 20+ years would want to be there. We thought the head of finance, who has worked with the chief on accountability, on the investigations you like to bring up, we just all thought we should be there. So you want to bring up the investigations and the finance?
Did I bring it up?
Sure.
Did I
Yeah, you did. You just did. You just did. Like
What
less
did
than
I-
a minute ago. You just did it.
What investigation did I bring up? What did I bring up?
For $50 in the POS
Yes.
system.
Oh, did I bring it up? Or did the chief bring it
Brought
up?
it up, and he-
Okay, I guess I brought it up for the chief then. Okay.
And you know, the shame of it is that Brad should be able to be celebrated tonight, and Travis should be able to be celebrated for his services, but you wanted to make it an issue, and it was intentional.
Okay, Nate, I'm sorry that you felt this is intentional, that I made an issue.
No, I don't feel it, because that is implying that what I feel is not real, and what it is reality. You did not invite the treasurer, the controller, Kevin, Andrew, Nathan, or Jim. 6 other elected officials.
Okay.
Or other city employees. You didn't invite other people that work with them, you didn't invite ex-chiefs, you didn't invite anybody else. It was just the select few who wanted to be there. And then you submitted things for reimbursement, pulled them for reimbursement, and then other things were submitted.
Okay, Nate.
Well, it's,
So what would you like to do? What would you want me to correct? What do you want me to do to
well,
make
it's a
this?
little late, because you know what the problem is that after I sent an email that wanted to hold the you accountable, but everybody else, which was pretty direct and pretty snarky, Kevin's answer and Jim's answer were both, well, Nate, when's the party? And I said, oh, last Friday. You know why? Because nobody knew.
Okay, Nate.
Okay, Josh. I'm glad that it's entertaining. I'm glad that you also find it appropriate to use city funds for it. And here's the thing: whether we did it before or not, what I will say is once is a mistake, twice is a precedent. I don't want any retirement parties. If we're gonna do it, I think that there is enough people in this city that I would honestly, before the receipt was pulled, I was gonna just offer to buy the damn cake because I thought you deserved it, Travis. No offense, don't mean to bring you into it, but it's not a political showing. We would have donated to it. Honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you divvy that up, we probably could have just chipped in $20-30 and paid for it, rather than the taxpayers doing it. So a lot of things that came up tonight were taxpayer dollars. So yeah, let's have the elected officials who are up here doing this, working on our private time, working 2-3 jobs, working as property owners, and we would have just chipped in to celebrate with everybody. But it's entertaining because everybody else got left out, and now it's like, okay, yeah, Nate brings it up, and we can just give him smug smiles, because that's what I'm feeling.
Okay, Nate. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I know I
That's not how I feel, it's a reality.
Okay. Since this is, I know how I can improve moving forward then.
also gonna pull the reimbursements for the debit card.
Well, how much is it, Nate? How much is it?
$200+.
I'll
Fine.
pay it.
Victoria, you don't have to pay it.
No, I'll pay it. My wife already said to pay it. Victoria will take care of it.
The SPOA actually also said I will refund the SPOA. I will pay for it myself. So I absolutely do not want any hostility over that. Like I'll take care of it myself.
I'll pay it. I will pay it as a sitting councilman, but the thing is that we can't allocate taxpayer dollars for any random party that we want to pay for.
Darn right we do.
I'm not arguing the
I understand that.
because I offered to pay it, and I'll pay for the entirety of it. But the problem is that this is an allocation for nobody else in this city, either elected officials or other people were invited other than a select few.
It comes down to accountability, because we want to talk about, our pending investigation. We terminated somebody for accountability. It's just accountability. That's what it
Okay,
comes
well,
down
it's
to.
gonna get paid, so let's, yeah.
Okay, I'm saying what I'm saying, Vicki, that's what I'm saying. Okay?
Can't change it, but then the question is, that if you were invited, would those tax dollars still been?
No, I would still have a fundamental issue.
Okay, that's fine. You don't need to yell at me.
No, I'm not yelling, I'm just stating it clear.
Next.
From a financial standpoint, here's the way I look at it. If this would have been open, and it should have been open for Travis here at City Hall, for everybody here in this room throughout the city, we can never say thank you. Thank you for doing your job. And that's the way it should have been. That's the way it should have been handled. At that point, I would have no problem with being paid, because you're giving everybody in the city as contributor taxes to this, the opportunity to come in and say, thank you, Travis. And unfortunately, people don't get thanked us, but it needs to be open with everybody. So that's the way it should be. And then there will be no questions. Let the people thank you, because they've done a lot of good for people. Travis has done a lot of good for a lot of people. And it's a shame that it wasn't. It's a shame that it wasn't held every City Hall, at least for years, I think.
While I'm still in my discussion, Travis, I just want to thank you. And I just want to thank you, because sitting aside, I sit on re-entry committees with you, I sit on statewide committees with you, we've sat with the president judge together, we have sat on how many different committees together. It's not personal. My issue is fundamental and it's financial, and I offer to pay for the supplies. I stand by that, and I'm sorry that it came to this, but I stand by it. But I still respect you, and I still thank you for everything.
Anything else on that topic?
Not for now.
All right, moving on. Next city council meeting will take place on February 23rd at 6:15. Well, unless something happens. Winter movie matinee at the Albright will take place from 1 to 4 p.m. Mom's coffee break will be March 4th from 10 a.m. at the Dickinson Community Library. The Irish Movie at the Albright Center will be taking place March 5th from 5:30 to 9:30. Earth Day cleanup in Cameron Park and Front Street will take place on April 22nd, starting at 8:30 a.m. to about 1:30 p.m. And the Sandwich Stroll will be taking place June 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Joe, is that still SRI for the tickets?
Yes.
For the Sandwich Stroll? All right. And any other announcements at this time? Any other announcements? I'm assuming, is the movie, the matinee movie, that February 17th or?
Yeah.
February 17th?
Yeah, it's every other, but the next one is the
17th? All right, thank you. Any other announcements at this? Nope, announcements? And any other announcements?
Yes.
All right, now moving on to public comment. Now, is there any public comment at this time? I'll start in the back and start in the front and work my way to the back. So, ma'am, please state your name.
I know I'm not alone in wondering why the topic devices were moved from the agenda tonight. I know more people have shown up to the I still not
Please state your name, sir.
My name is Drew Bayman. I also have comments on ICE. I don't believe we need them in our city. I come here before you to express my deep concern about the operations of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This council's attempt to draft a statement in support of ICE, what we are witnessing is not public safety, it is a public safety crisis created by ICE itself. On January 7th, 2026, Renee Nicole Good was murdered by ICE. On January 24th, 2026, Alex Preddy was murdered by ICE. These are illegal, unconstitutional, rogue agents. We do not need them in our city. We do not need our council supporting these fascists. If that's what you want to do, I think maybe you should resign.
Please state your name, ma'am.
Sandra Hunt, I have an announcement to make on, I would like it put on the back of your agendas, the Sunbury Earth Day celebration. This year is April 25th in Cameron Park from 10 until 2, and I hope you all will join us in this celebration. Now, would you like me to talk about ICE? That's a different man.
You're still on public comment, so you may say whatever you like now.
The state Democratic Committee, can I have that thing? I'll just read part of it.
No, this is for cleaning, or she's talking about the 25th.
Yes, it's actually cleanup. I was at the Pennsylvania State Democratic Committee meeting this weekend, and they did a resolution to condemn the weaponization of ICE, and it starts, I don't want to read the whole thing, but whereas U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was created in 2003 as part of the post-9/11 Department of Homeland Security, and has since operated with sweeping police powers, minimal oversight, and a documented pattern of abuse against immigrant and non-immigrant communities alike. Whereas the training for ICE agents has been reduced from 5 months to 47 days. That number is an arbitrary number that was selected for the 47th president, thereby creating unorganized, ill-equipped enforcement and agents. And it ends with, let me read it. It ends with, be it further resolved that the Pennsylvania Democratic Party calls on the Trump administration to fire Kristi Noem, who has lost control and has been an unmitigated disaster.
The lady in front of the person who just spoke, and I'll just keep working my way back.
My name is Becca White. I came to a meeting back in November regarding a petition that I had started to have a crosswalk placed on North Fourth Street between Wises and the Plaza and the Green House intersection. When I came in November, I had 215 signatures in support of the petition. I have now obtained over 400 signatures in support of the petition. I've also done some more research. And I was wondering what the possibility of obtaining a RSA, road safety assessment, would be.
I think we're already in the process of doing that. We got a hold of PennDOT, I think we're gonna go and do that, but I think there's a way we're doing it. So I'm not gonna make any promises until that assessment comes back, okay?
And then there is multiple grants that the city of Sunbury can look into, such as Safe Streets, Roads for All Grant, Transportation Program Set Aside Program, Northumberland County Safety Grant, and the Walk Work Safety Grant. And then I can provide links for those as well.
This is the PennDOT street, so they'll make the determination if we can do it or not.
I have documentation from PennDOT stating it is not a PennDOT project, it would be a City of Sunbury project.
Yes, that's what we're in the process of review. As soon as we get a determination, you'll be the first person to know about it, okay?
And then, do you know what a hawk signal is for crosswalks?
I'm not familiar.
I'm not sure of that.
So typical crosswalks in the City of Sunbury have a push button, and then when the light changes in the direction that you are crossing, the walk sign shows. However, with the typical crosswalks, oncoming traffic is still able to turn left and right and go straight, which poses the risk of danger. For the potential crosswalk, a hawk cross sign, crosswalk, button, signal would be where the pedestrian pushes the button, all traffic has to stop when the light turns red for 30 seconds, the pedestrian can cross.
See, this is a young lady who wants to crosswalk up on 4th Street.
Yeah.
I'd like to review.
Yep. We have a review in for it right now. There's only one possible area it might go, and it's very doubtful it's gonna go there. You have to understand, City of Sunbury doesn't own any of the property up there. The only viable place is by the YMCA. You're going on the YMCA private property and going over onto the mini mall property. You're basically taking public pedestrians and kicking them on the private property, and then that puts the onus on the private property owners. What do they do with people? So it's gonna have to be something much more comprehensive than a standard. So we're looking into a lot of different ways. If there's some other way we can do this, but we are looking into a PennDOT.
We tried this 20 years ago. Tim, you were on board with putting a crosswalk up there. There's some other reason, I can't remember why. We were told no. This has to be 20 years.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad situation. You have that suicide lane in the middle. So you have traffic turning all different directions in there. It's a very high ADT area. And then on top of that, again, we don't own the property up there. So all of our other ADAs, we're either on PennDOT right away or we're on the city right away.
Where is the city cutoff to PennDOT though? Are you aware of that?
What do you mean, what's this? We don't own the street, that's a PennDOT road. That's not our road.
When you were out, she did indicate she had something running from PennDOT.
No, it would be, she was indicating the crosswalk would be the city's responsibility.
It's a city, yeah, it's the city's responsibility to install it. That's all crosswalks and signs. We still maintain them, but then we would pay to put them in. But the problem is, again, it's not a city street. That is a PennDOT state route. So we are governed by everything with PennDOT. So it's again, we have a study, they're looking at it, but it's gonna have to be something quite different.
Again, look into it. That's feasible in any possible way.
We agree with you. I mean, we looked at it, I mean, we talked about it with McDonald's in there, we'd love to put something in there. It's just highly infeasible just due to the circumstance of where everything is up there, what we own up there, and where we have to take pedestrians and traffic conditions, the turn lane in the middle, it's just dangerous. I mean, obviously, if we had all the money in the world, we put a pedestrian overcrossing bridge there, and that would be the greatest thing. It's just never gonna happen.
The only issue with an overcrossing bridge would be the handicapped population of Sunbury. And they would
Well,
not
but we
be
do
able
have, you can do your handicap ramps to get up over. We already looked at one of them in different areas in the city, we explored those options in other areas. They're very, 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 very expensive, and it's just not feasible, I don't think, we're gonna try.
Thank you. Public comment, please state your name, ma'am.
My name is Sandy Field. I represent a group called Save Our Susquehanna that worked with council last spring on a climate resiliency plan, and we were ready to move forward with Penn State to go through their climate action plan program when Mr. Backer quit and has not been replaced. And so we are asking council to appoint or ask someone else to be in contact with us so that we can move forward with that work, to start looking at flood risk mitigation and things like that in the city of Sunbury, that we can move forward with that kind of assessment.
Just so I'm clear, they're asking me what they need to do to be able to do that for you, and tell me exactly what you need.
We would just like someone to talk to about our plans, that rather than standing up at each council meeting and making an announcement, we have ideas about how we'd like to proceed because the Penn State program fell through last fall. And so for example, the Penn State program involved, like a greenhouse gas emission inventory and then was gonna move into a climate action plan. And we're not really sure that that's the right direction for Sunbury, just because I don't know that you guys are interested in doing a greenhouse gas emission inventory, but maybe some kind of flood assessment, some flood risk assessment study and things like that would be more appropriate. So we want to, conduct a survey to investigate those options, ask people what they're concerned about in the city, and then try to come up with a plan for moving forward and applying for grants and things like that.
Here's my suggestion, okay? If I give you my email, you email me what you just said, okay? In all honesty, Derek Backer is now with the municipal authority who deals with the flood and all those things for the city. I'll contact Derek, and between he and I, we'll come up with something to answer your question and solve your problem, if we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we just sort of need somebody on an ongoing basis to work with. You know, if, for example, if we do develop a survey to find out about people's concerns in the city and what they see in the future in terms of recreation and things, could that be hosted on the public website and things like that? So, but these things could change depending on the results of the survey and the results of our research and things. So we just want someone to touch base with on a regular basis.
And I'll see that it's put on the agenda for the next meeting so that you have somebody named for that process. But I want to talk to Derek and just make sure who, between the municipal authority and us, who would be a better fit for your project.
Great, so we should plan to be here next time too?
Well, you certainly can.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have some?
Yeah,
Sorry, she's in my group too.
Yeah.
I know she always spoke.
I just wanted to add on this, the person we want to be able to work with us and the, Penn State University or Bucknell or whoever we're getting engineers from to look at this, and the city council. We aren't trying to do something against city council. We are trying to make Sunbury a better place to live for everybody. Kind of like the trees, the shade group. So we're just looking at different environmental concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name, sir.
Glenn Moyer. I noticed the agenda for Monday had a statement on about Sunbury supporting ICE, but the one for tonight doesn't have that. Can somebody explain why?
I'm gonna jump in again, if that's okay, sir. I'm the solicitor for the city. My name is Joel Waste, and quite honestly, I saw the same thing you saw, and that's why it's not on the agenda. I suggested it be removed. I did not think it was in keeping with the best interest of the city or any of the inhabitants of the city to make such a blanket statement, especially with what's going on in Minnesota and everywhere else. Okay?
Has anyone on the council been in touch with ICE? Are you in any negotiations?
Absolutely not.
You just wanted to...
I didn't want to do anything,
Okay.
but I wanted it to not happen, okay? So what I'm telling you
I hope the rest of you do.
I didn't want it.
No, but I think it's safe to say that there was a misunderstanding between some people about what was going on. But as a result of that, and before we go any further, I was gonna wait until the end of the meeting to do this. But in order that there be no confusion among the board or the citizens or anybody else, I did prepare a statement regarding the city's position, official position. And I'm gonna read it, okay?
Joel, before you read it,
Go ahead.
sir, I don't want to put it in the agenda because the conversation was regarding, one, the gentleman we just brought back for the murder over at Wise Markets. That's how the conversation started. And the question was asked, what's our policy here in the city of Sunbury? I went and talked to Jeff. I said, put it on an agenda so we can find out what our policy. Well, you're going to find out what our policy is here. That's why Joe asked me to take it off the agenda, because he's clarifying our position, and it was never intended that we were backing, and that was
my fault, I'm not sure exactly, you said support for, I think it said, that wasn't the intent was getting information what the policy is. So the gentleman back here, Mr. Bingman, council never said, never talked to ICE. ICE is like a bad word today. Okay? And we're finding the policy out here in a minute. Joel, you're on.
Okay. After careful consideration, it always has been, is, and shall continue to be the policy of the city of Sunbury to cooperate with all law enforcement agencies to ensure public safety is protected to the letter of the law. On a regular basis, the Sunbury Police work with the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police, etc., to ensure the protection of our citizens. This cooperation between law enforcement agencies will continue as long as it remains within all legal and moral boundaries. That's the official position. And quite honestly, I have discussed that with the police, with the mayor, with council. I disseminated it to council, and everybody appears to be in full agreement with that statement.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you.
Yes. And it's difficult following what's going on with the 24-hour rule. I know that that's all you have to do, but you kind of make a joke out of public notification issues. Would you consider doing something like a week's notice where agendas are published so that people can know what's going on?
The problem,
and then you don't have to cancel meetings.
well,
so.
I think, I'd be lying to you if I told you I think it's possible to do that, only because so much comes up. As you saw, we added things tonight that came up today.
Yeah, but people you could adjust.
We could,
and that would allow the people of Sunbury to know what you're
could
doing without following your website on a daily basis.
What we could do too, sir, is we could try to put on the things we know are going to be on the agenda ahead of time and add to it as the week goes on. Okay, that is something we could do.
Yeah,
but I can't promise everything's going to be on every agenda a week before because it just isn't possible.
No.
Does that answer your concern?
Well, sort of. I know that, you know, other kinds of entities, all sorts of entities will make requirements that you have to publish the agenda to people a week ahead of time.
Right.
I mean, it's very difficult to keep track of what's going on if you have to hunt for those things. You can make a better effort.
And again, I think an effort can be made, but I think the entities you're talking about aren't necessarily dealing with public safety issues that come up unforeseen. And that's the issue.
Well, then that can be added on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Go ahead, ma'am, please say your name.
Wayne Murray. I'm Wayne Murray. I take care of Crichton's Gardens.
Thank you.
And you do an amazing.
We have an old garden, old oak trees. They have a lot of dead wood in them. My friend and I were working in an area and we walked away from it and came back a half hour later, and there was a branch that big and maybe 20 feet long laying where we were working. So I contacted Good Tree Care. There's a proposal for them to remove all the dead wood and also trim up the hollies. It's $13,800. The reason it's so high is because Good Tree Care doesn't use spikes for their tree trimmers. Don't use spikes climbing the tree. They use ropes to get themselves up where they need to be. It's a safety issue for us and also anyone who comes to the garden. Like when the prom people come, I'm a little scared of it. If there's anything that can be done with that money, I'd appreciate it.
Name Jeff. Jeff and I was working with that. 2 weeks ago, we started looking at estimates, and we're still working on it.
Okay, but with Good Tree Care, they're the only people who I
Yes,
trust
we
in the
do
garden.
work with good.
Okay.
Just let me say, when rain comes to council, and there's a problem, there's a problem. We've been working hand in hand with Lane for the past 4 years now, Lane, something like that. And she takes good care of that road down there. So we try to do what we can for her. We have some money put away, we think it's money from Degenstein. I talked to her the other day, where maybe Cycle Foundation can help us out too. I don't know how to go about applying for that one, because they already came forward to give us money in the past.
Hey, Jim, that grant that Madison was talking about also is for maintenance of trees too, so that may be a possibility to get some money from that grant.
Get that information, give it to Jeff then.
Okay.
Because he has the forward on the estimate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, just the work on the oaks, just the oaks, has to be before the leaves start to come out, the little
The buds.
You can't cut them after that, because the sap's up already. So it should be before the end of March or the middle of April. Okay, thanks for listening.
Yeah, first, I just want to say once again, thank you for everything you do down there.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
You know, that's.
Thank you, Lane. Any other public comment at this time? I'll go this way and work my way over. Go ahead, state your name, sir.
Jim Broomall, what is the status with the Dothel property up here by the Marlins?
We are waiting for, something came up with that. We have an engineer's opinion that it needs to come down. We have a very litigious Mr. Duffield threatening to sue us if it comes down. I did the research, and last fall, there was a new case from the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania that basically says that we have to see if it's better to rehab it, if it's gonna cost less to rehab it, or to knock it down, okay? So now, we're trying to get a contractor to go in to tell us how much it'll cost to rehab it versus knocking it down. That's where we're at. We're trying to find a contractor to do that. And I know Jim was working on, Jim Eister has been working.
Well, you can't find nobody to give you an estimate?
Yes, spoke to them today, we're meeting next Tuesday here in City Hall. Vicki, oh, you had a question? No, I'm sorry.
No, it's soon.
All right, anything else, Mr. Brumbaugh?
I think everybody knows what the result's gonna be on that, I'm just wondering how long it's gonna take. I'm hearing from the neighbors and stuff like that.
Sure, with you. As you would too when you were here.
Anything else, sir?
No, I'm good.
Any other public comment? Please state your name.
Victoria Rosecrans, while we're talking about properties, I had a question about the Bimbo Bakery, which I filed a right to know. Thank you, Mr. Ramos, for answering that right to know. So the Daily Item did a story on January 12th about that property. And so just, this is the yesterday. I'm gonna put it to, because you were CC'd in all the emails, so there's a picture for you too. So that's the picture as of yesterday of that property. So can you tell us what's happening with that property that's not safe sitting in our city?
So with this particular property, we have reached out to the owners, and they have actually gotten back to Jackie. We have asked them to see if they can get a city, or not city, get an engineer in there to see if it is structurally sound. Visibly, we believe it is structurally sound and it's not an imminent danger to the public. But there are other options on the table with the adaptive reuse ordinance that might allow them to utilize the building for another purpose. So from a particular business standpoint, we're waiting for it to see from the engineer to see if it's safe, which we believe it is, but we want that confirmed. And then two, waiting for their maintenance schedule after that. With the adaptive reuse ordinance, it might allow them to open up and give us a better plan for that.
That's good, I understand all that, that's fine. So what happened to the last time that anyone was from the city, there was a complaint called in September, and you sent me all the IQ work stuff. There's no follow-up on that. There's no follow-up of anyone going to that property in September to do anything about it. There's no documentation in there. That's a problem, that somebody was there in September, and now we're in February, there's a hole in the roof, I don't care about a firewall. You know, that's a problem. It's still a safety issue, and if that was any other building in the city, you know, I don't care about repurposing, fire consolidation going there, I don't care about any of that. Why was nothing done? You don't have that answer, and I'm gonna move on. But that's the problem.
So we've been trying to get in contact with the owners, like the code officers, and they have not been able to get in contact
Since
with
September.
them. And
Okay,
so
there's no
we-
documentation,
so-
there's no documentation in the computer that says she was there, anybody was there. We made phone calls, we did this, we did that, there's no documentation. So to me, it looks like, you don't care? That's what it looks like. So, okay, that's all I have on that. While we're talking about other buildings, Turkey Hill, so December 22nd, 25, you voted to purchase the Turkey Hill at around $250,000. How much did you purchase that for?
We didn't purchase it all yet.
Not yet?
Nope, because the court hasn't allowed us to do it.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. So my next concern would be, while we're talking about tax dollars here, so, and using them wisely. So the city seems to have issues with camera systems, okay? First time being back in, we can go all the way back to, the first camera system, which was like back in, 2013, and that was from a grant. $232,250 was spent on 50 camera systems, but by 2016, half the cameras didn't work. And by 2018, the city determined that it was gonna cost too costly to repair them. So the city's solicitor was instructed to contact the DOJ. So then they came into town in 2019, they came back in 2022, and the DOJ, they met with different officials in the city about that project. And the reason why I'm going back there is because I'm going to show a pattern here of what happens with cameras in our city. And then, so to date, there's no finding on that with the DOJ. So on, just so you're aware, on December 29th, 2025, I filed a FOIA request with the DOJ, and they did get back to me on January 5th. So the DOJ is looking into that to get me an answer as far as where we're at, because the issue is that things were not handled properly with that, and with tax papers and things, so is that a $200,000 bill that we might have to pay? So, no. So now let's just jump to this new camera system stuff with Alert Enterprises, which that's been a debacle, okay? So I filed lots of right to knows on that, especially after we were being audio recorded in our city, which I think is a government overreach. So to date, and I just got the most recent bill, because at first I was told I wasn't allowed to have it because of litigation, and then it was released to me last week. So at this current time, we have $82,747 that were spent on cameras in our city. And then that person's gone. But the issue I have with the $82,747 is there's no contract. There's no contract for that amount of money to hold Alert Enterprises accountable for anything. So we want to worry about $200. I'm worried about $82,000. Then we call in Kita LLC to come in. And so now we're at a bill for them, so he's coming in and doing all this work. So now we're at $18,265 spent on cameras. On additional cameras and things like that. Again, I asked for a contract. There's no contract for that amount of money. So I'm encouraging council that when you're sitting up here and you're voting for things and you're spending those dollars, can we get a contract on stuff? Just like tonight, we have a POS system. With that amount of money, I understand it's not between this and this, but there's no other POS system out there that's cheaper than that amount of money. I can tell you there is because I've been researching. But I'm not gonna get, I'm not going back and forth. But, so we're worried about dollars, but we don't do 3 quotes, we don't look at best process improvement, how can we do that cheaper for what we do? And there's other systems. So, the chief revenue is no longer here. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, that one of the investigations right now is the audio recording to the state attorney general's office, correct?
Then yes,
And yes? Okay.
you just told me.
I just told you. Okay. Well, that's why I was gonna ask. But that was one of them, I went back through the minutes, and that was back on 11/24/2025. That's one of the investigations happening as to how did that audio get turned on? Who told them to turn on that audio? And why were we audio recording? Staff didn't know. I filed right to know. Now I'm in waiting for appeal that wasn't answered. So when we talk about transparency and accountability, they're at your best. Because now we have an appeal that I'm appealing, somebody else is appealing because we're not getting the information that we're asked.
Well, I can answer that.
What's that?
I can answer that. The appeal with Mr. Backer. Yeah.
I'm not talking for Mr. Backer, I'm talking for Victoria
Well,
Rosenthal.
same thing. I can answer that too, because we never got the bills. We never got anything. We got,
I have the final bill.
not the bills, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. We never got
The audio video, was it released to you?
no.
Okay,
And
see, that was never said till tonight. That
Well-
was never, you're the first person to say to me, Victoria, the reason why your right to know wasn't filled out and given to you was because Alert Enterprises did not release that information,
Want to see
right?
that?
And that's a problem.
Well, yeah, especially because I wrote it to everybody in the, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know you didn't get that, let's put it that way. And that, I'll take responsibility for you not receiving that, but yes, I've written out an official document to the state, because quite honestly, we want to be transparent. They won't give it to us. In fact, you're the one that alerted most of us to the fact that there was even, audio. I knew there was video, obviously, but I didn't know there was
But
audio.
I have no issue with video.
Right, well, point being, neither do I. But the simple fact is, we can't get the stuff, and we're trying.
But this, I'm just letting you know
Right.
this is the first time that I've heard that information.
No, and I understand.
And I will say this, I'm not gonna cost the city money, okay, I'm not gonna go over and file, I don't have time to do all that. I shouldn't have to do that.
Agreed.
That's the point.
And if we have it, we'll give it.
Absolutely, you guys do give it to me, this is the first time that I've had to appeal to the state to not get that information. But, so the bottom line here is, there's lots of improvement that can happen, and I do bring solutions to the table. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but we're worrying about, there's things that are being worried about that aren't as important as some of these other things. And by doing contracts and making sure we have warranties and making sure these things are done right, that protects the taxpayer dollars, okay? So,
I couldn't agree more.
thank you, that's all I have to say.
I have a question.
Sure.
What is being worried about that's not as important?
I'm not gonna get into this back and forth tonight, but this whole council, y'all are after each other, okay? You're all just,
Don't
you
speak
know.
for me, please, I'm not after anybody on this council, Victoria, so
It's-
please don't
it's
speak.
just all-
No, you're not
okay.
saying don't speak for yourself, for you, don't speak for me.
Also,
That's like the way I feel, I get along with
Okay,
every one of these on council.
That's great, I'm glad you do, but there's a lot of undermining
Don't
that's
throw
going
me in
on.
that conversation like that, then, okay? Thank you.
Okay, but I just put you in the conversation of, I will be paying attention to when you're voting, because the one time when I asked, were those cameras voted on? And I'm talking not Akita, I'm talking other ones, and I was told, yeah, they were voted on when we paid the bills. Is that how we vote for things? Is that how we vote if we're gonna do projects? That's not how you vote for things. So those are the answers that I get. This is what I do, and I do it for the taxpayers. So, I'm just sorry, but you got a lot of process improvements to do. That's all I got to say.
Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, sir.
Justin Britton. I got two things actually. First, can we get the lines repainted back on Chestnut in front so people know it's 2 lanes, not 1? Because I've sat there, I have a friend that lives close to there, and I've been going to their house, and I've sat there and watched dozens of cars in a row cross over while I'm sitting there waiting to turn into the other lane. I've watched people drive up the middle of that street until they get all the way to the end where the lines are still there. When they redid the road, they never repainted the lines. And I'm surprised it's not a bigger problem than it is, because it's just an accident waiting to happen.
Believe it or not, sir, we do have that on the agenda. Matter of fact, Jeff and I were talking about the other day about
Wonderful.
having a kid come in from some program that the state has going on, just to help us do lines.
Wonderful. Second, Savannah Converting, the hemp plastics place that bought part of the silk mill. What is going on with that? Because it went from Savannah Converting, now it's Next Gen Bioplastics. Nothing has been going on. When you look the company up, there's 2 people in the company. The one guy, when I first looked up because I used to work up at Kydex in Bloomsburg, and I was like, hey, I'll go make hemp plastic and way closer to home. The only thing I could find on him was that he was wanted for fraud in New York State.
Good question.
So what is going on with that? Because it's been sitting there and we just get, oh, it got pushed back again. Oh, there was a story just at the end of 2025. Got pushed back again. What's going on with that? Because I know he got grants.
Like I said, I think Joel will agree with everyone else, like, we can't speak on their behalf, like I said,
Yeah.
other than when whoever originally bought the property, bought it, other than that, there's been no update given to council on what they plan to do with the property they purchased.
Yeah, because I know, I think it's Drive was involved with it and getting them the property.
Like I said, I'd say those would be questions for Drive, because like I said,
Yeah.
they handled all those everything to do with the purchase of that property. So like I said, they haven't come to the city and say, hey, we're doing A, B, C, or D. So like I said, I don't think anybody up here can speak accurately for what is happening at that property at this time.
Okay.
Is that it, sir?
Yeah.
All right, any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment at this time? All right, I adjourn this meeting.